Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, brought to you by the lovely folks over at StarCityGames.com. All right, so this week we are trying out Bant Ramp with a little bit of an elemental twist to it. We don't have a ton of elementals, but I think Risen Reef enough is high enough power level that I wanted to include it into our Bant deck. We do have to play Leafkin Druid instead of Incubation Druid, which I think sometimes is better, sometimes not as good. So the main decks I'm concerned about right now, Scapeshift and Black-White Vampires are just on a tear right now through Standard. They're crushing it. They're crushing it. Every single tournament is being won by Scapeshift or Vampires. So what I'm trying to do is try to beat both of them. I don't know if it's an easy task while still having good matchups against the rest of the metagame, but I think Deputy of Detention is the hero we need and the hero that might be able to take those two decks down. As well as just ramping into a turn 3 Nissa is just so good. How can I ever not try to play that shell with Deputy of Detention, which I think is very good for the metagame right now. So feel free to fast forward to the recap, but I will warn you, there are spoilers there. I talk about every matchup that we played, as well as each individual card. So if you don't want to ruin the matches, I would suggest watching the matches first. I hope you enjoy the games. All right, and welcome to round 1 here with Bant Elemental Ramp. Okay, so I think this deck is pretty well positioned right now. Let's see if I'm right. So let's start by going first. So this hand is fine. We are missing blue here, but we have like 3 draws to get it, and if we do get it, this hand is actively very good. Plus, we can still cast Prison Realm. So we're gonna keep this. Obviously, it has a little bit of problem, but it's definitely not bad enough to mulligan here. All right, let's see if the Druids can hold us up. Probably Vampires. Yeah, Vampires is insanely popular right now. Okay, so there's our blue. I think we just do this. Now, if we get a land, it's going to be tough to not want to just cast 2 Druids, but... All right. Yeah, no attack. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, so I kind of want to just Prison Realm this. Yeah, Prison Realm Scry for a land. Seems reasonable. Teferi Time Raveler and Bounce something isn't as good just because they could just replay it and they can just attack Teferi Time Raveler. But maybe that's good enough. It's not that good against Vampires anyways. And I do just want to hit my land drop. So, you know, we're just going to essentially throw away Teferi here to kill this Vampire. All right. Really wanted to hit a land there. No such luck. Hydras are also quite good against them, but we're really afraid of Sorin plus Champion of Dusk here. Oh, they have it. Wow. The Stone Cold nuts right here. At least we bounced one of them. Now we can get rid of this and then kill Sorin. Oh, we really needed a land. Yikes. Still what we have to do, I think. Yeah, Vampires are just so resilient that it doesn't really matter what you're doing. If they have their Stone Cold Nut draw, they're usually going to win. Granted, we did get a little screwed to not draw a land here, but a little unfortunate now that they have 6 magic cards. Now, if they just kill our Druid here, I think there's just no way we can come back from this. Yeah, it's crazy what popularity Vampires has picked up. It's unfortunate that everybody is going to be buying this deck and then the deck is just going to kind of cease to exist here pretty soon, but what are we going to do to this, you know? I mean, we have to just go double creature here, but we're just way too far behind. This is the turn where we had to just be dropping some kind of threat that matters, but not getting a land in our first, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 draws is not going to help us. Yeah, I think the big turning point of the play was if we would have drawn a 4th land here for Prison Realm to get Champion of Dusk and then be able to attack Sorin, I think it's a little bit of a different game. Wouldn't be a counter here, plus there wouldn't be a way to add another counter this turn, but the way it stands, we're just in trouble. Now they can flip Legion's Landing as well. Okay. We can soak up a little bit of damage here, but gotta take 6. Take 6 or much more. I kind of hope they just go pump, pump. I mean, then maybe Nissa can start bringing us back. Doubt it, but now we only have 2 lands. It's a big hit. It's a big hit. Come on. All right, so if we have 2 blockers, can we even survive? I guess we can. No, we'd only have 1 blocker because we need to use the mana. All right. All right. You win. That was definitely the product of us not drawing lands, and I think we would have actually had a decent shot there. But decent shot at that, because our opponent did have the turn 3 Sorin, bring in Champion of Dusk. It's just so good. Okay, what do we want to do against vampires here? I like the Wolf Master here. Time Wipe is very good. We have 3 Devoted Decrees here. I'm really respecting this matchup. So I like these 7 cards. Cards I don't like so much. Deputy is not very good, but maybe it's necessity against them here. Risen Reef and Teferi are kind of the cards I really don't like, but Teferi's a little better on the draw. So I kind of like keeping a couple of them in on the play. Or excuse me, they're a little better on the play. I kind of want to go like this. I like all our X spells. Those are pretty strong. Yeah, we'll go something like this. On the draw, we're just going to be playing, we're going to be just maxing out on deputies. Well, not maxing out, bringing in the 3, and then getting all the Teferis out, but they're actually okay on the play. If you can get that on turn 2 and hit their 1 drop, or even turn 2 and hit their 2 drop. If they have 2 creatures already in play, that's when Teferi is a little awkward. But if you can really time it correctly, basically in the first couple of turns, it becomes pretty good. A little slow here. I really like hands with ramp. Plus 2 Nissas is not very helpful. We don't have double green for Hydra. I think this hand is just a little too bad. This hand's much better. We're going to keep. What do we want to get rid of here? Nothing, really. I think we need Hydra to refuel, and I think we need the other Hydra to take out an early creature, so I guess it has to be Paradise Druid. So we'll go like this. We'll go Druid on 2. I'm guessing Hydra on 3 to fight something. We will see. That's a great fight target. All right. Go like this. Also a very good fight target. Okay, so I think we have to impact the board a little bit here. So I think just killing the lieutenant is fine. Fight here. We'll say go. Now we'd love to top deck any play, and Nissa is exactly what we would love, because we don't want to cast Hydra next turn. Now, do we want to just block trade? No, we'll take the free 1 point. If they want to make it 4, sure, use up their whole turn. Okay. Hey, that's a play. That's a play. Not too bad. We just didn't want to cast Hydra quite yet. And now next turn, we get to have a decently big Hydra. And then hopefully draw ourselves into some more gas here. Yeah, Vampires is just on top of the world right now. It's tough to argue with wanting to play Vampires. I know a lot of the events are being won by Vampires lately. Wow. This seems wild to me. Sure. I'll take 2. Seems like a interesting at best exchange here. Champion of Dust makes a lot of sense. Throw away 1 vampire for 3 cards. It's reasonable. Okay, now we can go Hydra for 5. 5/5 is pretty good in the face of Champion of Dusk, and then we can Prison Realm next turn. I would like to obviously cast this for 6, but I think we just need to get an impactful play on the board here. Okay, Time Wipe is great. Time Wipe is great right now. We'll play a little defense. Hopefully Time Wipe being able to pick up our Hydroid Krasis here. At some point, we're gonna try to hold off on playing that as long as we can. Our opponent still has 6 cards, so we want them to commit a lot to the board. Our Leafkin Druids, for what it's worth, also add double right now, so they add double green. Strong card. So, I don't think I actually want to block that. Because I want to be able to kill Sorin. So, I think we just take the hit here. We could chump block, but... Okay. Wow, that was good. I think I want to just start with taking this down. And I think we're just going to play a Giant Krasis. Then we might do a little chump blocking here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can do it for 10. We can make an 8-8 Krasis. If they kill that, we block here. Take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're not in need of dying here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Krasis for 8. It's going to be a nice one. Not very nice cards, but that's all right. Being able to just time wipe here and Prison Realm Adanto to clean up everything here is going to be a nice plan. Okay. And gains Death Touch. I think I'll block here and here. Free 4 damage. Yeah, our opponent is committed to not committing anymore to the board, which means it's about time for us to Wrath. Okay, yeah, I don't see any play besides just Wrathing here. We're going to attack. Now we're going to add a bunch of mana. We're going to time wipe. That resolves. Now return this. So now we can Krasis for 4 and it has to be answered. Otherwise we're only Krasising for 6 if we wait a turn. So we either can go Prison Realm this and Llanowar Elf, or just Krasis for 4 and we're presenting lethal. I think presenting lethal here is a little better. And it's out of Sorin range. We can block this if need be. We got 2 nice cards. This has been a good game. This Nissa still presents lethal though. So they do have the land though, which is a tilt. Just concedes before we even had anything. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so on the draw, like I said, Teferi is a lot worse. Deputy gets a little better. It's still not great, though. I do want to be clear about that. Deputy is not a great card against them because it does die to Sorin's negative ability. But you just need to be able to buy yourself some time. It works well with Time Wipe. Now, do we not like anything else? I think everything else is pretty necessary. I think we'll submit it like this. Game 3 against Vamps. Lost game 1 in miserable fashion just because we did not draw a 3rd land ever. And game 2, we just beat them with some good old fair flying fish. All right, game 3. Yikes. This hand is horrible. This hand is good. This is the exact same hand we had before, except our mana base is a little worse. So we're gonna keep. Kind of think we get rid of Paradise Druid as well here. It was correct then. I think it's correct now. Okay. It's not bad. Now at least all of our lands are untapped. Now we can go Llanowar next turn and then one of the Hydras on turn 4. Ugh. All right, Llanowar. There might be a world where we just block here. Never mind. No land, okay. Ah, it's not what we wanted to see. Now we could go Hydro for 1 and double it, so make it a 2-3. That doesn't seem good to me. I think we'll just have to eat up this turn here. Then go Hydro for 2 and either make a 4-5 or kill the Aspirant. Okay, now I think it's kill the Aspirant, because that's going to get wings pretty soon. Oh, wow, that's good. Now it's definitely kill Aspirant. Yeah, because if 3, 4, 5, 6... If they have a removal for this, I guess they can cast it anyways, but... Maybe is that a reason to actually just Krasis here? Because we do get to Krasis and just Time Wipe and bring it back. Then we're taking 5. Because we block the 1-1. And then we Time Wipe, but we're gaining 1. So we're going to 4. And then we Time Wipe and Adanto lives. And then we go to 1. Think we have to? Alright. It's not great. Our back is up against it. Now our back is really up against it. 5, 6. Yeah, now this puts us to lethal with Adanto. I just think we can't win now. Well, I guess we have to hope for the misclick. And that's game. Brutal. Brutal. Yeah, Vampires is good. There's no way around it right now. Their draws just lined up pretty well against ours. Game 1, you know, it was a little unfortunate. We didn't hit our land drop, so we didn't really play a game. But Game 3 was the same. I mean, they had a good aggressive draw, even missed the land drop, but had 2 timely removal spells for our 2 creatures. We weren't able to snowball our threats at all, and we kind of got beat badly by Vamps. They're quite good. Normally, I actually like this matchup, but Adanto is just so strong against us. So, all right, everybody, stay tuned for round 2. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves on the rest of these matches. And we're back for round 2 here with Bant Ramp here, Elemental Bant Ramp. This hand's good. You know, we got a 2-mana ramp spell. We can ramp into a Hydra. We have Risen Reef. It's perfectly fine. All right. Whoa, what do we got here? A Healer's Hawk. White Weenie, maybe? Haven't seen that deck in a while. Which is kind of weird why it's not around anymore, because the deck was just one of the most powerful decks out there. Okay. Blue-white skies. Okay. Interesting. Alright, we're going to do Paradise Druid here. Alright, I'm really afraid of that 7/7 here. Oh, God. Oh, God. I am definitely afraid of it. Now, we can fight the Sailor. I think we have to, otherwise we just take 8. Can't come back from taking 8. And Sailor gets to draw some cards. Yikes. If we do that, we take 6 and 6. It's 12, so we can have a setup turn next turn, but barely. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright, we'll fight here. And we'll pass it back. I scoffed at the Healer's Hawk when it came into play, but it's doing some work. Alright, any follow-up here, I think we're pretty much toast. We're going to need like a Krasis off the top. Krasis for 3 would be pretty strong. That puts it to lethal. Krasis for 3 isn't even that good now. Oh my god. Was our best draw. We can't beat an 8/8 flying lifelink. Okay. Alright, Deputy is going to be good against them. Deputy is going to be insane, so... We're going to have to aggressively mulligan to those. Maybe a little bit. Those end time wipes are both going to be very good, so. All right, anything that kills creatures here is going to be quite strong. Hydras are... Actually, Hydras are pretty good because they kill a creature. Risen Reeve is bad. Teferi is not very good either. Is there anything that's worse? Probably not. Teferi's got to be the worst out of the bunch. Take out 2 of those and we'll run it like this. I like it. I like it. All right, I would love to play first. This hand is nice. Real nice. 5. No, I'm just kidding. All right, turn 2 Paradise Druid, and then turn 3 either Hydroid, Krasis, or Deputy, into turn 4 Tolsmir. Magnifico. All right, we'll lead with the Temple Garden. Just in case we top deck Llanowar Elf, we might want to play that instead of taking 2. Maybe still not, though, but... Okay. We're put to the test. So if we go Llanowar, then we still have 4 mana for next turn. But if we go Paradise Druid, then we can go Deputy plus Llanowar next turn, and I think that's better, so we're still just going to do the Paradise. Take me down to the Paradise Druid. I'll take 1. How about 2 more Siren Storm Tamers? That's all I asked. Okay, no such luck. I still think we want to Deputy this while we can. And then take 2 and play Llanowar. We just want to keep that Imperial Angel a 2/3. So next turn we can Tolsmir away it peacefully instead of, you know, it being a 3/4 with Supreme, whatever this card is called, Supreme Phantom. Okay. Okay. Now, we want to just play Tolsmir. Could Krasis for 4 as well. Krasising for 4 is pretty strong. They can exile that to take out Krasis. You know, I think I just want to kill this. Get some pressure down. Gain some life. Get to play the Hallowed Fountain tapped. And we get the big beats of 1 going in. Now we're at a pretty commanding board position, and now we get to follow up with a Krasis, so pretty strong. All right, the deadly Rustwing Falcon. Okay. Now we get to attack with these 2 at least. Taking 2 to prevent this, I believe. 5/5 Krasis. Wow, fish power, let's go. I think we might have a good chance of winning this one. Get redemption from getting destroyed in round 1. Now they gotta get through Krasis here. Nice. Okay, Krasis for 6 then. I think we'll attack first. This is 11, this is lethal. We don't want to attack with anything else because everything else has a good block against Supreme Phantom. So all 3 of these can get through their creatures. That's why I attacked in such a way here. And now they're forced to block. I mean, they have a couple decent blocks like this, the Spirit plus Rustwing Falcon to Tolsmir. I think that's what I would do. But, oh, okay. Now they're doing some good blocking. Okay, those are great blocks. We only get to kill a Siren Storm Tamer. Okay, but we did have them waste one of those cards, so we're still going to be fine here. So this one's for 6. And we'll send it back their way. This should be the concession. Pretty tough to beat Krasis and 3 extra fresh cards. Okay. We'll get this one in there. And now, we're going to mix it up and try a Hydroid Krasis this turn. Hello! Krasis for 5, 6, and 7. That's what Bant Ramp does best. That was nice. Okay, game 3. I do like our sideboard configuration a lot more against them. But actually, I think I'm going to just take out all the Teferis. They seem horrendously bad. We'll leave in a couple Risen Reef. They don't seem very good either, but I think it is better than the alternative here with the list we are given. All right, on the draw now, though, and we got demolished on the draw. We were drawing Teferi and Risen Reef, so maybe it should be a little different here, but we got demolished. Let's hope for a different outcome. Okay, this hand's fine. 2 Nissa is a little awkward, but we have a turn 2 Paradise Druid and then Disruption, and I think that's what we need to do. No, not the Rust-Winged Falcon. Sounds like the ship from Star Fox. I'll take it. Okay, Miss Landrop? Nope. Okay, that's not too bad, though. Now, I think I don't want it to get bounced or anything, so we're going to start with the Paradise Druid. Ruh-roh. It's definitely how we lose if we don't draw a land. Okay, well, Deputy on the Healer's Hawks here is going to be pretty big. Yikes. The last thing we wanted to draw. Take care of 2 of them here. Deputy is so good right now, it's unreal. So a land next turn and be able to scry into a 5th land is all we want. Now we're going to try to get this Spectral Sailor out of here so it doesn't run away with card advantage. Ew. We are drawing very poorly. Luckily, we are going to buy ourselves a good amount of time with this Deputy. But even just a land next turn so we can go double Druid would be awesome. Not a Risen Reef. Interesting. Are we about to get blown up? Why wouldn't they draw a card? I'm not going to attack. I don't know what this could be. Okay. Seems good. I think I would have rather drawn a card if I were them, but... Oh, no. We're just dead next turn? We're just dead? Ugh. What a tea. Once again, our mana base really got us. Alright, that's game. Dang it, we're 0-2 with Bant Ramp. I was doing so well in testing with this deck, but dang, it's not looking great so far. Let's hope we can at least get a redemption match in round 3, okay? Stay tuned. And welcome to our 3rd and final round here with Bant Elemental Ramp. Okay, so we're on the draw here with a bit of an awkward hand. I am going to keep, and the reasons why is if we get any of our mana accelerant creatures here on one of the first 2 draws, this hand is actively very good. And even if we don't, it's still okay. It's a close one. It really is a close one, and we could get just run over here, but I still think it's a keep. All right, we're going to start with the Hallowed Fountain tapped. Harbor obviously was not a great draw for us. All right, let's see if we can get a redemption match here. Search for his can't. Ooh, Nexus. Well, we did top deck what we needed here, what we needed to here. Nexus is probably not a great matchup for us, I will say that. All right, we get to Risen Reef to get some value here. That's not that big of a deal. Little tempo play. Now, if we top deck Nissa, we would make a different play here. But with how it stands, we are just going to Risen Reef here. Next turn, we can Deputy and Llanowar, depending on what 4-drop they play. Plus, Risen Reef can be a ramp spell as well. Yep, and it is. So now if we top deck Nissa, we still get to play it. Opt. Okay, they're down to 5 cards here, so not looking terrible, but there's a few. I mean, Wilderness Reclamation, hold up a counterspell is terrifying. Tamiyo is also very good because it starts to fill the graveyard. Just heading for Nexus already. So now it's what do we want to take care of, Tamiyo or Search for Azcanta? Both are terrible for us. Think it has to be Tamiyo. Because this can get back a dismissal, which then can bounce this, and it just gets all kinds of bad for us. No attacks. I don't want to trade Risen Reef for a 1/1 right now. And I get an active search for Ascanta on turn 5. That's terrifying. Yikes. They can Nexus already. Lots of bad stuff happening here. And we're definitely going to want to play Krasis because they're already incentivized to blast zoning on 3. Only put 1 counter there. That's not so bad. Alright, so we can Krasis for 5. And get in our 1 point. Krasis for 5 is not even that good right now, so I don't like our chances, but sideboard gets a lot better for us. Game 1 is almost unwinnable. But games 2 and 3, we have a lot of tools to beat them. But we're a value deck, and they're not trying to care about stopping our value. They just combo kill us out of nowhere. So Nexus is, it's a rough one. So now if they find Nexus, it's basically over. Which, I mean, they're looking at so many cards here. Yeah, if they Nexus us one more time, we'll just concede. It might be a little early, but I know you all didn't want to come here just to watch people combo off. All right. Yeah, we just can't win. They're gonna look at so many cards now. We'll scoop it up. Games 2 and 3 get a little better, like I said, so hopefully we can stand a chance. Teferi is very important, as well as just counter spells here. So we got this, 2 more of these. Not a time wipe. I like Veil, I like Negates, and I like Aether Gust. Cards I don't like are Risen Reef. Prison Realm's not very good. 3 cards we gotta take out here. Hydras aren't the best because of fog effects, but it does pressure pretty quickly. I think Krasis is probably worse. I think we'll go down to 2 and 2 split. We really just want to get a Nissa down and then protect it with counterspells. That's kind of Nissa or Teferi. It's kind of the name of our game here in this matchup. All right, down a game 0-2. Down a game in 0-2 with Bant Ramp. Oh my god, maybe Bant Ramp isn't as good as I thought. Okay, this hand's great. Turn 2 Teferi, let's go with counter backup. If we can't win this game, we might have to retire this deck. Rest in peace. Alright. So Teferi's going to be good. We are just going to take it up for now, though. Because if they play Search for Ascanta, I would like to brick that. But almost for sure we'll have to play it next turn. But if we top deck a land, we could do something like Krasis for 2 and then bounce it right away. Because we just want to cast this on turn 5. Well, now we're going to do this on nothing. So we want to hit a land. But if anything, we just go Druid and Llanowar. Alright, so we'll go this Druid plus Llanowar here. Now they're 1 turn away from blast zoning. So if they had another land in play, I would say we couldn't do this play. But we're going to resolve Nissa next turn, so then we don't really care if we lose our Llanowars. All right. Now we're gonna play this. Actually, we can play Paradise Druid first. I don't know if that really matters. 2 blue. So there's no way we can hold up Mystic. So it doesn't really matter. Guess we go like this. So then we can get an extra point of damage? Sure. And we're gonna do it on this because we do not need 2 mana this turn. Get the beats going. Then take them Oh yeah, I couldn't attack with that to play Paradise Druid. Alright, well that's okay. We didn't need to play, we don't need the Druid right now. Still a little loose play there. That was bad. I should have just did it on Temple Garden if I wanted to attack, and then do this. Yeah, that was a little loose. A little loose goose here. We're still gonna win this game very easily, but... Okay, another Blast Zone. So now we just want to make sure we Crisis and leave open mana here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to use this. 5, 6, 7. Guess we can't leave Frilled Mystic mana open unless we top deck a blue source. So, yeah, I guess we do this for 4 and then play Llanowar? Nah. 9, so for 8, we're going to play Llanowar. Crisis for 6. Okay. Now we are going to untap the Temple Garden, like I should have did last turn. Get in there for 3. Present lethal for next turn. Now they have to be doing one hell of a crazy turn here. And then we'll have Mystic open for next turn. Alright.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Beat that! There's just nothing they can do, yep. Alright, yeah, Nexus post-board is not as scary, but Nexus pre-board, a little scary. Little scary. Maybe I just don't want that many X-Spells and I just want to be Risen Reefing into threats. These really don't seem great. But Risen Reef also just seems pretty bad. They just have so many ways to bounce this. That's tough. That's tough. I'm considering just going to 4 Hydroid Crisis and 0 Voracious Hydra. I think it's just a better card in the matchup. Finds us some answers at least. It's still not great, but we gotta have something we ramp into. Oh yeah, this hand is good. We'll keep it. All right, I'm sensing it. This is gonna be our win. This is gonna be our win, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good draw. Now, Growth Spiral into a turn 3 Nissa or Wilderness Reclamation. I think we're still in trouble here. Uh-oh. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Paradise Druid. Uh-oh. Might have to Deputy now. We will have to Deputy. Trying to find Reclamation. Hopefully they don't have any more land. So now we need a land. We have to be answering their threats when they come into play. Now if we don't get a land, Teferi is still pretty strong. Okay, that smells desperation to me. Okay. Ooh, yeah. God, do I just go for Nissa? I think I should. Best foot forward. Yes. Alright, we're going to do Temple Garden this time so we can play one of our elves. Alright, we're going to actually play this because it adds 2 mana. Alright, now we'll try to get Teferi down to kind of lock it up. We kind of play like a prison deck against them, like just try to make it so they don't get any traction, control their Tamios, control their Search for Azcanthus, and then Teferi to control their really busted draws. Yeah, just Nexus here without any value in play is completely fine. It's just cycling. So Wilderness Reclamation plus Nexus gets to be a little more terrifying. Okay. Now we got a sweet turn next turn. We can go Teferi, Bounce Deputy, Legend Rule. Oh, okay. Decides not to play that, huh? Okay, okay. So I think we go like this. Hoping this resolves. Okay. Pretty strong, of course, but now we can just attack Tamiyo. Alright, so what if we attack here? Oh, I forgot to Nissa. Dang it, dang it. Okay, so now we're going to untap with Nissa. And we are going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll have 8 mana. So we can Krasis for 6. Yeah, so we don't want to attack with this.
I have learned all I can. Rise, my element.
Okay. Krasis for 6. Okay. Tick this up. Then we're presenting lethal for next turn. They're going to have to hit something nice. Even through that little misplay there, they should be at 8 because I didn't use the Temple Garden at all. So we want a match. We want a match with Bant Elemental Ramp. Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, I think this deck has problems. Whenever a deck has a lot of accelerants and then a lot of top end, whenever you draw too much of one or the other, it tends to be a little bit of an awkward deck, and I think that's just what we're in. I thought Risen Reef package would kind of smooth that stuff out, but maybe we just don't have enough elementals for it. Anyways, I will talk more in depth about the matches we played and the card decisions here in the recap. Stay tuned. And welcome to the recap here, everyone. Okay, so we played 3 rounds. We went 1 and 2. Definitely below expectation. I was doing very well with this deck. I actually just went on like a 9-0 run when I was on stream the last time I played it, and I thought the deck was insane. But we drew a little. Unfortunately, we got flooded a bit. Our draws didn't really line up with everything, and we, yeah, kind of did an embarrassing one too. What can you do? You know, I mean, we lost to Blue-White Flyers. Lost to close. Well, game 1 and game 3 were just not close at all. We just got annihilated, and it was actually just a beating. They just went over the top. You know, we were trying to deal with their threats on a 1-for-1 basis, and if we didn't get Deputy, we just couldn't win. So I think that generally is just a bad matchup, but it's also a deck that's not being played like ever. So I'm okay with having a bad matchup to that deck if I'm bringing this deck to a tournament, just because I don't really expect it a lot, you know? We lost to Vamps round 1. Now that I'm afraid of. That card will be, or that deck will be everywhere. And if we can't beat that, I don't think this is a great deck to be playing. I do think we drew a little bad, but we just got ran over by them when they had their nut draw and just went Sorin, down tick, champion on turn 3. There just wasn't much we could do. And then we beat Nexus. Nexus is an auto lose game 1, and then games 2 and 3, I think it's actually pretty easy. Teferi's insane, plus you have some disruption to go along with it. So I'm not too afraid of that matchup, nor do I think it's that big of a part of the metagame. But what I do think is a big part of the metagame is Vampires, Scape Shift, and Esper. And I think we have a good Esper matchup. Vampires is close. I think it's like basically 50-50. It's very die roll dependent. And then Scape Shift, I think, is a good matchup with so many deputies and so many ways to interact with their zombies. But that matchup is not like, you know, 75-25 or anything. That one's close as well. It's just an inherently very powerful deck. So just looking at the overall stats and the matchups of Bant Ramp, I think it is an okay deck choice, but we kind of saw how everything played out, and it just wasn't great. So maybe not. I'm not as high on it as I was before, but it is a fun deck, and it does have potential if we can fix some of the slots as well. So let's go through the individual card choices here. We have 4 Llanowars, 4 Leafkin Druid, 4 Paradise Druid. These are the core of the deck. This is what gets us to our big spells, gets us to our ramp spells. And now you can play, instead of Leafkin Druid, Incubation Druid. But the reason I like Leafkin Druid, obviously, is with Risen Reef. The combos with that is very good. But just the 3 toughness right now is pretty strong. Vampires has a lot of 2-powered creatures. that you can just straight block. You know, you get to eat up a decent amount of damage. Plus, getting 4 creatures in play is not that hard. And then you just get to kind of go nuts with Krasis a little bit early. It's pretty unlikely that it ramps you even faster into a Nissa or anything like that, because getting 4 creatures is going to be past when you would cast Nissa anyways. But it adds that extra insult to injury when you cast a Hydroid Krasis for an extra 2 or whatever. And then we'll go into what we're ramping into. The Voracious Hydra and Hydroid Krasis. Now, I'll name these cards differently, even though they look kind of similar. They're very different, and they're very good at specific matchups. So Voracious Hydra is insane against these like Teamer-style decks. Teamer, good against Vamps. Any deck that's trying to just beat you on the ground, it's an all-star against. Just being able to play this like on, you know, for X equals 5, you just have, boom, you have a 10, 11 creature, and you can have that as soon as like turn 4. The power on it's insane, as well as dealing with some of these hard to deal with creatures like, you know, a Knight of Ebon Legion, the vampire, dealing with Deputy of Detention, dealing with Thief of Sanity, Hero. It eats up all those creatures. Or when you just want to present lethal, I do this a lot. I'm like, okay, I could play Krasis, or I could play a Hydra, and the Hydra would present lethal. Present lethal all the time. You just want to be putting your opponents on the back foot, because we never really run out of steam in the Bant deck. Like you have Krasis, you have Teferis to bounce Krasis, you have Nissas, a bunch of X spells. You gain value over time, so it's all about presenting lethal. That's what I've learned. So whenever you can present lethal, present it. That's a huge learning lesson when it comes to picking up this deck. Then Hydroid Krasis. Not much you have to say about Krasis. The card's insane. Being able to Krasis for 4 or 6 very fast just leads to so many games that you win just because you're drawing all these answers. We'll move to our utility 3-drops. 3 Deputy of Detention. Deputy is one of the best cards in Standard right now, just because it deals with so many things. It deals with all the zombie tokens of Scapeshift. It deals with a lot of vampires. It deals with some of these ramp creatures like Hydroid Krasis. It deals with the tokens and Esper Heroes. Deputy is just at an all-time high right now. If Mono Red comes back to answer, it gets a lot worse, but for now, it's great. 3 Risen Reef. This is the card that I was most unsure of in the list because our only elementals are Leafkin Druid and Risen Reef. But it does serve its purpose of even 3 mana ramping you, or 3 mana draw a card, plus it gains value over time. It's pretty good, not great. 2 Prison Realm. Prison Realm has been impressing me all the time. Just being able to take out a pesky Planeswalker or a good creature. Another nice trick is like Prison Realming a Planeswalker, and then when they go to play another Planeswalker, you Teferi, bounce Prison Realm, they Legend Roll, and then you play Prison Realm again. I love that play. Chef's Kiss. And then we got 3 or 4 Teferi. Teferi's insane right now. I mean, it's not that good against vampires, but it's very good against Scapeshift, forcing your opponent to Scapeshift in response to your Teferi, and then you just get to go Deputy their Scapeshift tokens, or, you know, just playing it early, gaining you card advantage, bouncing Krasises. It really does it all. And then the heart and soul of the deck, Nissa, who shakes the world. It's one of the best cards, if not the best card in Standard, and that's what we're basing our deck around. If you can ever cast Nissa on turn 3, you almost always win. As far as the mana base, nothing too interesting to talk about here. We don't run any Temple lands because I really want to focus on being able to cast my spells on curve. That's really all it is to talk about in here. We'll move on to the sideboard here. We got 2 Veil of Summers, great against Esper Hero, great against any combo deck. We brought it in against Nexus last round. Baffling End and Decree, very good against vampires. That's my main concern with these cards, as well as some of them have other applications. You know, I mean, if we ever play against that black-red aggro deck, Decree is going to be insane. Aether Gust, very good in the mirror-type decks. As well as like Teamer Elementals, it's really good against. We also bring it in against Nexus. A pretty good Dinos, it's also good. Pretty well-rounded card for this, I have to say. And then 2 Negates. Any deck where we want to counter something. Esper Hero, Esper Control, Nexus, like we brought it in against. One deputy, another thing you want against scape shift tokens, as well as anything really aggressive. We brought it in against like blue-white skies. It's pretty good there. Just a great card. Sometimes you want the fourth. 2 Frilled Mystic, same as Negate. Anytime you want to counter something like against Nexus, Esper Hero, Esper Control. Time Wipe, Vampires, any other ramp decks when you're on the draw. I don't like to have Time Wipe on the play against these slowerish grindy decks, but on the draw when they might be able to get out faster than me, I like to have a Time Wipe or 2 on the board. Tolsmere comes in against a lot of things. Ramp, Vampires, you know, those blue-white flyer decks, anything where the gaining the life is relevant as well as fighting is relevant. All right, everybody, that's about it for me on this week's Droppin Baums. We tried Bant Ramp. Overall, I give it like a 6 out of 10. I think it was just okay. I think we have definitely had better decks over the season. I don't think it competes well enough against Vampires or Scape Shift, the 2 biggest decks right now. But it has room to grow, and that's really all that matters. We'll see you next week for another Droppin Bombs.